So this guy is about to do something really, really dumb. Something that will end with him lying on the ground, paralyzed by police bullets, with his infant daughter in his arms. That's the ending. But it doesn't start that way. Now, for the sake of the story, we are going to call him Guy. And Guy grew up in San Diego. His childhood was rough. Fights, arrests, a few brushes with petty theft. Nothing headline-making, but it was enough to shape him. By his mid-20s, something inside him shifted. I guess Guy wanted a better life. So he drifted from the old life and cleaned himself up. Started showing up to doctor appointments, worked small jobs, and, most importantly, he became a dad. That baby gave him something real to hold on to. He posted pictures, binged on baby milestones, and when he spoke of her, his smile was real. But his relationship with her mother was broken. Restraining orders, blocked phones, arguments that never cooled. On the night everything collapsed, Guy shows up at her door uninvited, emotional and tense. He forced his way in. Words were exchanged. Who knows what was said, but it didn't stay inside. Then he did something nearly unthinkable. He grabbed their daughter, took her mother's phone, and walked right out into the street, baby pressed tight to his chest. The mother flagged down a neighbor and called the police. She told them that he was not thinking clearly, she feared for the baby, and she didn't feel safe. Police raced down the streets of Chalice View. Lights strobed across apartment blocks. Voice after voice said this was now a kidnapping. Officers found him not far from the trolley tracks. There he was walking, baby in arms, still holding the phone. They called out. They ordered him to stop. He didn't turn. He didn't speak. He just kept walking, like he couldn't process what was happening. They followed, sprinted through dark corridors, past parked cars, across dirt and grass. Then all of a sudden he turned, his daughter in one arm and something dark in the other. Something that made the officers reach for their weapons. Something they would later say looked exactly like a gun. "Drop it," someone yelled through the chaos. And after a brief pause, gunfire cracked through the night. 3 shots. He fell to the ground, and the baby went down with him. The air froze. Officers rushed forward with their guns still raised. The baby was crying, but she sustained no cuts, no scrapes. She was okay, but Guy wasn't moving. Medics cut through the scene and start working to save him. They get Guy into an ambulance and rush him to the hospital. Days later, Guy wakes up in a hospital bed, unable to feel his legs. The doctors tell him that bullets hit his spine, and he is going to need a wheelchair. Later, after the incident, investigators say officers thought he had a gun. They say it was dark, and they saw a dark object in his hand, and it looked like a weapon. But Guy says it wasn't. He says it was his phone. Although no weapon was found on him at the time of his arrest, investigators recovered one gun near the trolley station, but that gun wasn't in his hand when he was shot. From behind bars, with bandage wounds and trembling fingers, Guy files a federal lawsuit. He called the shooting unjust and argued that police didn't let him explain. He claimed that they were just ready to shoot him because he was black. But later during the trial, he pleaded guilty to the charges including child endangerment, assault with a firearm, and being a felon in possession of a weapon. After lengthy court sessions, Guy is sentenced to 14 years in a California prison. His infant daughter now lives with family, far away from all the drama. But even in his prison cell, Guy still remembers every second of that night. How fast everything spiraled out of control, and how his dreams of becoming a dad died on that sidewalk. He wasn't perfect. That night, he made reckless mistakes. But in his mind, he was doing what he thought he had to do, to hold on to the only thing that mattered. The police say it was a split-second decision to protect a child. Guy says it was a wasted moment to react instead of understand. Now it's a story people argue about online. A version of events for every perspective. No clean closure. No comforting wrap-up. Just this truth. A man walked into the night holding his baby and never walked again.